myself, but nobody cares. But anyway, I'm Debra, photograph editor-in-chief of Birnbaum, and I'm more than happy to sit here with Amanda. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, first of all, most important question, does anything scare you?
Oh, no, yeah, everything. But I think that's also the point.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the pitch for this like? What did Mona say to you to get you to sign on for this?
She just told me she trusted me, and I think after like thinking about it for maybe a week, I decided that the best thing I could do for me is to trust myself as well. And I think when somebody that you trust, like Mona, because I'd worked with her before, if they think that you're right for something, they might just be right about that, and then you have to just go full force ahead. And because it's like a dream role, this movie is not for the faint of heart. It's a piece of art for sure. It's not. It doesn't fit into any box for sure. And I know Mona has the clarity and the vision and the bravery to do something like this. And so of course I just followed her.
I love this quote. You said that Mona told you, "I will pay you nothing. You're going to work very hard, and it's going to be a very uncomfortable experience for you."
Yeah, no, isn't that funny? It's
I
so
can imagine people
sexy.
are just lining up to say yes to that one.
Yeah, no, she tells it like it is, and honestly, it's like the most valuable thing. I love when people are direct and honest about something and about what they believe in, and I don't need any bells and whistles. I mean, is it nice to have a space to take a nap between setups? Yeah, but like I don't need it. And I also, she did create a family, much like Ann Lee did. Mona she collaborates in a way, and she's like very maternal in a way that she brings people in and she makes them feel safe, even sometimes if they're not, but they believe they are. So, and I think you gotta do what you gotta do to make a movie like this with less than $10 million, and like it's a huge epic. I mean, we were on a real ship, which sucked. It was necessary, but it's there's a lot of uncomfortable things. But I think that when you get through it, there's a point to it. If there's no point, we don't do it, and then you get angry about it. But if there's a point, you're like, oh, I feel better for it now. So it's that challenge that she prepared me for. I was prepared for.
How much did you know about Ann Lee and the Shakers going into this?
I knew about the Shakers because I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. There's a lot of Amish around us, but there's also a lot of Shaker museums, and I knew about the Shaker furniture, I knew about brooms. I don't know if you guys know much about Shaker baskets, but they're pretty cool. I didn't know about Ann Lee though. I didn't understand the backstory of the movement at all, and I didn't understand that it was a religious like utopian society that came over from Manchester. Didn't know. Yeah, it was a learning curve for me, but fascinating because she was a feminist and a religious leader in the late 18th century, and she believed in equality between gender and race, and that was like absurd at the time, and she was able to succeed in her vision, which is crazy too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So where do you even start with a role like this? I mean, it's obviously like nothing you've ever played before. It's not like nothing you've ever seen before. How do you find your way in?
It's all technical at first. Like I had to wrap my head around doing an accent, and accents, when you don't know how to do them, are awful. And then when you do get used to them, they're addictive. And my kids were even speaking with the Manchester accent because I would do it so much with them. My son would be like, "This accent is fucking hard." All the time, because I really love when he curses, not at school, but like, because he's 5, and he'll grow out of it. I take what I can get. But it was like very technical and very fun because I had all the time in the world to do it. Because we had like a year to prepare for this, and then slowly I would get into the dancing aspect of things, and then Zelia Rowson Hall was this amazing choreographer who kind of created this technique based on Shaker drawings and formations that we've seen in research, and put her own spin on it. I mean, everybody has their own like thumbprint in this movie. It's not exactly as it happened, because we don't know, but it's very specific to the artists who were behind this movie. So I think that's really special and hard to do. And then I did that for a bunch of days and weeks on end, which is hard. I'm not a dancer, but it feels good once you know it, but it takes me like twice as long to learn something, especially when you're with other dancers. And some scenes, as you saw, I'd be surrounded by dancers and then they disappear. And then the music part is, I'm a singer, but I had to learn how to stop listening to my voice and stop trusting my ear and just go with whatever feeling was behind the song, which was interesting and new. And I recommend it for any actors who are also singers. Just see what happens when you stop listening to how it sounds and singing as an actor as opposed to as a singer. Interesting. Learned a lot about that. But yeah, technical. But then I don't remember. Then you put it all together and you keep going, and then you go scene by scene. I was terrible at a lot of the scenes. It was awful. It was, I couldn't, because I was hearing my accent too, and it turns out the accent was kind of okay. And then we'd go back at ADR at the end of the shoot and fix some sounds, which we only did for like 4 hours, which is nothing.
But those are all separate, really huge pieces, the singing, the dancing, the accent. How did you shoot it all? Did you shoot it all sequentially? Did you shoot the pieces together?
Nothing in order. We shot some of the Manchester stuff first, because then we ended up on another set, so then that was all America. It was all in Budapest. If you want to make a movie for half of what it costs everywhere else, go to Budapest. It's like really great crews, and it's beautiful there. You can get a lot done. But yeah, it was not in order, and like nothing is in order ever. So you get used to that very quickly. But it, I don't know. It was so fun and so meaningful and so, energetically pleasing and taxing, and I would be hard on myself some days, and then other days I just completely let go, and just like run into a scene with abandon, and knowing I could do that and that I was safe to do that was great. So it feels very, it seems like it's brave, but also like I had a support completely the whole time. I had like trapeze artists have what?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for you.
That's what I heard. Thank you.
We were talking about how it's late and we've all lost all of our words all day. So.
I have words, but I can't prove it to you.
We're all here for her, right? What were some of the toughest scenes? I would imagine looking at the script, you'd be like, oh God, I can't, this day is gonna scare me. What was those scenes that you were most dreading?
No amount of Zofran could save me from that hell. Everybody got sick. Only the actors got sick on the boat. Which is weird, right? What does it say about us? About our constitution?
You're sensitive.
Sure. Thank you. But that was hard, and I don't like being wet. Sorry, it's all very like I don't literally like being wet for long periods of time. I don't think anybody does. It's unnatural and uncomfortable. And so dancing through the wet and the wind and the cold. It's all very, the scenes that I didn't love doing were the scenes that just were physically taxing. But the emotional stuff, I don't know. I could have done Hunger and Thirst all day, but I think maybe because I loved doing it or I hated it, but I can't figure out which is a weird place to live in. But I was proud of it when we did it. I was like, oh my God, that was a monster. We're done. But it was really just the camera operator Sam and myself. With this, it was crazy. what a cool opportunity to just, I knew the dance already, and I knew the song, and I could sing live, and then they were going to use the live take or use the recorded take. And I think one of the hardest things, actually, I'm remembering now, was the week in the studio where I did Beautiful Treasures, which is the montage where I lose all my babies. And I'm like, Mona wasn't feeling it yet. And we would come back the next day to the studio, and I was like, okay, so should we try it more like talky or like whispering, or what do you? She's like, no, I just want you to lay on the floor and just imagine giving birth. And I was like, yeah, I can do that all day, but I don't know. Like, it was she was looking for something that I wasn't offering up yet, and it's partly because I didn't do the scene, and partly because I was scared to fall apart in a sound studio before I was ready to. But I realized that the singing part was just as important as like every piece is as important as the shooting of the actual scene on the day. When it's going to be musical and movement based, it's all important. So I had to, and finally the third day we got it, and that was frustrating as all hell. But it's, it's sad. It certainly honors that whole experience that people actually really experience. And the reason Ann Lee started this whole movement was it's so important to see that. And that's why it was so graphic. Sorry about that. I actually told Mona, I was like, do we need a trigger warning? Because this is, especially if you've gone through it, like you don't want to see that. You don't want to be reminded of that, but it is important. And I do agree now that, but she doesn't think a trigger warning would be effective. I don't know.
It worked, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Sometimes you just don't want to see blood coming out of someone's vagina. But you know it's not real blood. But it could be. No, did you know? I don't know if anyone caught this, but I didn't realize that before they made underwear, women wore red skirts during their periods. And I had a very, very thick felt, wool, red skirt the entire time I was imprisoned. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. It's just, you learn a lot. Little tidbits of how it used to be. And then you become very grateful very quickly. Indeed. Talking about blood, I mean.
What else did you learn from the experience of making this, either about Ann Lee or about the time and history? God, I don't know. I mean, it was really impossible to be a woman. Still, it's hard. But what I learned is that we haven't changed that much as human beings. And that's why it's good to make these movies, to remind ourselves that we still need the same things, and we're still brought to our knees by the same things. I mean, grief doesn't change with the eras, with the centuries. It's we're all connected, and time doesn't change that much. Technology doesn't change that much, and like we are not that different than people back then or each other. And the fact that someone was able to create this utopia, this religious society, this community, based on just needing to love each other and feel safe with each other is like so beautiful. It's so simple. It's so novel. Like we can learn from that. We can remind ourselves that this is possible, and look what she was able to do. Yes, nobody could have sex. But that was because sex, she thought, was the root of all evil, the root of why she was in so much pain. Because she had sex and she got pregnant and she lost her babies. So she had some logic there. Obviously it doesn't work. But the idea that was taking that away could make you closer to holiness is just, it's kind of beautiful. And
I don't know, she had nothing to lose, and when you watch somebody lead a group of people who has nothing to lose and is really just trying to create something that makes everybody feel better and happier and more part of something, it's, you know, it's very, it can change people's lives. It's wonderful. I think she's nuts and also very cool.
I mean, her motives were pure. They were a little wacky, but she really had the best of intentions.
Yeah, and also just everybody, I mean, not everybody, I've never done it, but people go to raves, and the ecstatic dancing is not dissimilar to just that excitement and that euphoria that you have when you're moving and you're lost with other human beings, the energy of other humans. Like, we're feeding off of that, and it's beautiful, and you can see how they weren't drunk or high on drugs, they were literally high on God, which is, you know, I get it. Like, I get it. It's attractive. There's something attractive about that. And in fact, I'll give you an anecdote. Like, after the first day of shooting there's a name for it, the prayer, the something prayer, when we're all dancing like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like all that. Oh yeah, it was like, I was like, a lot of the same movements actually, which is cool. But after that day, we wrapped and we were sweating because it was 90 degrees in Budapest and everybody's wearing 18 layers. And then I put on, through the speakers, and everybody, the dancers, the crew, everybody stopped what they were doing, like setting up, because once you wrap, you're like, done. All came back onto the quote-unquote dance floor, the main house, where everybody's dancing in the beginning, and just, like, went to town. I have a lot of footage of that. And we all, like, stayed engaged, but in a different way, because there's something happening there with movement and song and music. It's like a whole other level of performance or feeling or both.
You've had some pretty incredible roles over the course of your career. How does this compare for you to them?
This is different because I think in terms of music, I mean, it's just adding music and movement just enhances everything. It enhances the storytelling. It twists you up into this kind of different kind of realm. I don't know how to describe it, but it just makes you feel more. It makes you more engaged. It makes you I don't know. But I think I haven't done a musical since I had kids. And now, like, I have so much more to lose, and then so much more to gain when I go all the way into something. So I feel like my, I don't know, I just have different priorities, and like, it's to be the best parent I can be, and to protect these children, and, you know, to be there, but also when I'm doing my art, which is as essential, to be there fully for the sake of myself and the art and my job. So like, I feel like this is just a cut deeper, and everything I do, you know, everything I do since having these kids has been more thoughtful and more driven by the need to keep creating at a level. And I can do that with people like Mona.
What did you take away? What did you learn from working with her as a director?
We all need a mommy or a leader. We all need a leader that has the kind of clear vision that she does. It is scary, and I think it's important everybody starts somewhere to go into something not knowing how it's going to turn out. If you believe in the person that's creating it, or if you were the person that's creating it, you believe wholeheartedly you should do it. But for me as an actor, I realize I desperately need a leader. I'm not going to direct something. I don't know what I'm doing, and I need someone to tell me where to put it, what I'm feeling, and how to utilize my skill set. And she is ideal because she cares so much about the project. She's usually, because she's written it, and and she also lets you have space to have your own feelings about it, and then she's able to kind of hone that in some special maternal way. She was just everybody's mom on this movie. She was very, 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 well, she knows everybody's job, she respects everybody's job, she's gentle in the way she speaks, she's very communicative, very clear about what she wants, and she's a clear storyteller. She knows exactly how she wants to tell the story, even if people think it's a bad idea, she knows what she wants to make. She's very considered and discerning and all the things. She's just, I would go anywhere for her, because I know that the direction that she's leading me is a place that I need to go for whatever reason. Yeah, yeah, where is she?
Come on, Mona.
What? Is she talking about Ann Lee somewhere else? I think she is, actually.
We'll get her.
But no, it's fine, yeah. We're very, very, very close. People think we're sisters, which is super good for me, because she's hot. And I miss her now, actually. It's fine. It's good. Actually, we both went to Zurich with our daughters recently, and it was the coolest moment. So we had to go for like 1 day, and we just took the girls out of school for a day, and it was from taking off to like landing back in New York. It was just epic. We ended up at this nasty indoor pool, so they could hang out. Because Mona and I were like, we'd love to just sit at the spa or whatever. But because when in somewhere else, you just take advantage and then just ended up. But it was like epic. It was epic because she's a family person too.
So I put out a call for reader questions, and I got a question from someone named Tommy Sadowski. You may know him.
Oh, is there 2 of them?
And he wanted to know the most living line in the film. That's her husband. For those who don't know. Because that's how I roll. The most living line in the film was a little girl asking, "Is that her mother? Who was the voiceover artist?"
My daughter. Mother, is that her? She came to ADR with me on the day that I had to fix all my bad sounding Manchester, and Mona, everybody's in the movie, by the way. Everybody's in the movie. Everybody. Our DP has like a line in it. So crazy that everybody would do that, but it just goes to show how much we all love her and respect her. But yeah, it's so sweet. Mother? Is that Mother? Is that her? Oh.
I died. That was the reaction we all wanted. It's crazy. All right, so last question, because I do need to let you go. We've got a room full of students here. What advice would you have for them as they go into their acting careers?
Okay, someone just asked me this on the carpet, and I'm just going to reuse it if I can remember what it was. What was it? I don't know. I think go in the direction that you feel you need to go into as an artist. If I'm speaking to artists, which I am, your creativity knows no fucking bounds, and I know it's really hard to make art in a time when you feel like people are trying to devalue you, and it's as important as it's ever been, if not more, and we need it. It's literally it's what we live off of, and so you just gotta keep doing it. You will find an avenue no matter what, no matter what somebody feels about it. It's just that if the engine's running, you keep fucking making it. And if you don't want to make it anymore, take a break. But I think we all are run off of creativity and imagination. It's just the only way we're gonna get through this time period is to just consider each other, but also know that what you've got going on is just very important. I have other things I could say too. Look both ways when you cross the street. You don't want to die.
That's a good one.
My dad.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.